I thought I'd try something new here. I thought I'd introduce videos every now and then on this channel where I'm just chatting about photography in general, things that I'm up to, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, things that I may be using, gear, although I don't really want to go into gear reviews and stuff. I'm not interested in that. You can get that anywhere, but if there are certain pieces of gear that I come across and I think are really extraordinary, then I'll give them a mention. Yeah, just a general sort of like, it's like a podcast. Look at this as a podcast. You can listen to this as you're driving. You don't need to see my face. If you've watched some of my other videos on this channel, you may know that for the past 6 months, I've been using a Hasselblad X2D. Well, back in the beginning of the year, I wrote an article on fstoppers.com and I said, I don't understand why all these influencer types are being sent these big medium format cameras running around doing street photography and travel and run and gun type work. It's ridiculous. It's overkill. And Hasselblad saw that and they said, well, can we send you the camera? So I've just sent it back. After 6 months, I'm actually really relieved that I can now pick up my little Nikon Z50 with a little manual lens. This camera, I've had it for 6 years. It's just for walking, for traveling. It's a favorite camera. I love it. So I'm pleased that I don't have to lug around a big medium format camera with me now. I didn't have to, but I really wanted to test the camera thoroughly and be very fair if I decide to give it a review. And I'm not going to do gear reviews, I don't think, on this channel. I've been avoiding it. Any reviews that I might be doing, you can go to fstoppers.com. I'm a staff writer at fstoppers, and I write articles on a regular basis sharing my opinions and thoughts about gear that are being sent to me. And you can see behind me I've got a bunch of latest slings. In fact, I think one of those might be under embargo still, so don't look. I've got those because I'm trying to figure out the best small, lightweight travel setup. Every now and then I like to reevaluate my gear for the lightest, most effective setup for travel. And the Nikon Z50, still my favorite camera, but I'm looking at bags. I'm trying to get rid of backpacks and a whole bunch of lenses that I don't need. I'm down to sort of 1, 2, maybe 3 very small prime lenses now. So the slings, that's what I'm looking at. What else have we got here? So despite me saying my little Z50 is still relevant and I love it, I have bought 2 new cameras, and let me share why I bought them and what I was thinking. So I've got this Nikon Z6 III. At the moment, it's got the adapter and an old F-mount manual lens from the 70s, which that's the 28mm. It's the best 28mm lens in the world, period, in my opinion. Well, maybe Leica do a better one, but I love this lens. Anyway, I've been using a Z6 for 7 years, and for work and for pleasure, for traveling with. It gives me a better quality image file if I really want to push the processing than the Z50, because that's only a crop sensor. But what happened was I've got it here somewhere, I don't know where it is right now, the strap lug on the Z6 snapped off. And for travel, I need a camera strap. I need to have a camera over my shoulder, around my neck all the time. It's just the way I like to work. And I couldn't do that anymore. So the sensible part of me said, well, why don't I just get a replacement Z6? They're old cameras, they're really cheap to pick up used. And for photography, I do not need the technology that is in a Z6 II or a Z6 III, all that partially stacked sensor business and pixel shifting and being able to shoot 30 frames a second and eye tracking, really good fast eye tracking. I don't need any of that. I do lifestyle, travel, portraits, food, architecture, all the types of photography that I do. I just need to shoot 1 frame a second and be able to focus, and I'm in no rush. So I should have bought that camera. But then the business side of me said, well, hold on, most of your client work is video based now. You shoot more video than you do stills. So wouldn't a Z6 III make more sense? Because then I've got the really good video capability. The video in this is phenomenal. That makes a really good B cam to my Z9. That makes sense, right? To have a B cam and be able to shoot great video on 2 cameras. So that's why I bought this camera. But as I started using it for photography and some of my projects, my personal projects, I realized that it's got this damn flip out screen, which if I'm little Brittany doing a makeup video at home, that's fine. But I'm not Brittany. I'm a photographer and I want the flip out screen, because you can't have this camera on a strap and walk around doing travel photos. Like, it's just, I don't like it. I don't like it. So I've got a new camera that is a very good tool. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's a very good tool. As a hybrid camera, this is one of the best out there, without a doubt. It's fantastic. But for me, for my photography, my personal projects, I don't like it. I'm just gonna have to live with it, I suppose, because I've got no other options. I mean, the ZF, that's a nice camera. If I wasn't doing video, I would have looked at the ZF. I know the ZF has got good video capability, but not as good as this. But that's got that same flip out screen as well. So yeah, what do? I'm just gonna have to use that and use my Z50, those 2 cameras, right? But the second camera that I bought, I've been getting into film photography again after a 20-year break, and I'm really enjoying that slow process of using a camera where I'm in complete control and I've got to do all the work to get the image. I'm controlling the focus and the shutter speeds and the aperture, getting the exposure right. I've really been enjoying that. And somebody said to me, well, I'm surprised you haven't got a Leica film camera because you love your Leica Q2 so much. Why don't you get a Leica film camera? So a film camera is just a box that holds film. That's all it is. It doesn't do anything. But then I still went down that rabbit hole of looking at, okay, so what if I did get a Leica film camera? What's the best Leica film camera ever made? So after lots of research, I realized the best Leica film camera is this one. So I bought it. This is an M3. It was made from 1954 to 1966. And it is undoubtedly the best quality Leica camera ever made, because it's brass, all the little cogs and components inside are brass. It's all assembled by hand by expert craftsmen, and they didn't compromise. There's no compromise on parts or anything. But ever since this model came out, every other model since has gone downhill in terms of looking for cheaper parts, looking to cut corners, making a cheaper model that maybe more people could afford to buy. And so outsourcing parts to other places to make more profit. So this one, in my opinion, this is all my opinion, obviously, this is the best, not only the best Leica 35mm film camera ever made, rangefinder, it's the best film camera, period, I believe. Now you might say, oh, Hasselblad such and such from 1984, or no, this one, if it's good enough for Henri Cartier-Bresson, people like that, it's good enough for me, for street photography, for travel. And I'm running a roll of black and white through it right now, and I absolutely love it. It doesn't have a light meter, so there's a lot of joy and satisfaction in looking at the conditions and trying to figure out what the light setting should be. And so far so good. Fantastic camera. It's just so good to hold. I would wind it and click it, but I don't want to waste the film. It's expensive. So what I've decided to do is stick to digital for the majority of my work. But when I do go out somewhere interesting, a new location maybe, that's small enough that I can just pop it into my one of those little bags or my backpack, I'm probably going to use that roll of film is probably going to last 2 or 3 months before it's ready to be developed. So yeah, I'm really excited about that camera. And when I bought it, I got this little 50mm f2 Summicron lens made at the same year. They're both made in 1956, so they're both coming up for 70 years old. And this lens it's tiny, it's solid brass, so there's a bit of weight to it, but it's the most amazing quality lens I've ever used. It really, really is. And I've got some really good expensive lenses. This is just pure joy to use, and I just love the size of it. So what I've been doing is actually I've got an adapter and I've been putting it on the Z6 III, and the results are just blowing my mind. I absolutely love it. That brings me on to the next thing, sort of. I've been using 28mm, my Leica monochrome on these cameras with the old vintage Nikon 28mm, and I've been using 35mm too. When I learnt photography, for the first few years I only had a 50mm, but since I've started using 28 and 35 over the last few years, I haven't touched a 50mm. So I thought it was about time to start using one again, and that's partly the reason actually why I bought this camera and this lens, because 50mm is the classic focal length, right? And I should be using it more because I'm getting too comfortable using 28 all the time. I like to constantly push myself outside of my comfort zone and continually be experimenting and trying new things. So one of the reasons why I'm using a 50mm is my new project. I've got a project that I'm taking quite seriously. I'm going around in Canada shooting small towns, just documenting small towns, mundane, everyday scenes. I'm not looking for honeypot locations and dramatic views. I'm just looking for everyday scenes, and you can see that in my video that I'll link at the end of this one. I filmed the first video in that series. Well, it's not a video series, it's actually a project that some of the towns that I visit I will be making videos of. But this first video, what I enjoyed the most was finding little storefronts and shooting storefronts, and I found that a 50mm lens is the perfect focal length. Stand across the road and shoot most storefronts. So I've taken it out. I took it out last week. I didn't make a video, but I shot 2 very small towns last week, and yeah, I mean the results are just unbelievable. So this brings us further into this project. I think we should all have ongoing projects, and this one I'm taking very seriously, and I'm thinking, well, this could lead to a book, it could lead to an exhibition. So that got me thinking, if I'm going to invest time and energy into this, I need to shoot for me. I need to shoot the way I want it to be, how I want to do it. So I started this project using the Z6 III, and I'm getting great results. And I showed them, they're actually on my website. There's going to be a section on my website where I'm going to be adding all of these little towns as I shoot them. And they're all in color, and they're all sort of wider format or vertical or whatever. And I'm thinking, is that what I want to do? Am I trying to shoot to please other people? I'm not looking for likes and things like that. I've never been interested in that. You kind of have to, I suppose, for a degree if you've got a YouTube channel, but outside of that, on social media, I couldn't care less if people don't like what I post. I'm posting, I'm shooting for me, so I need to reevaluate this project before I get too deep into it. And I actually don't have an answer right now. What I'm thinking is shooting it in black and white, because black and white is my big interest. I'm thinking of shooting black and white square format. That's what I'm looking at right now. So on my website, the first town is up. I've put all the color images, and I've also I went back and edited a set of black and white square crops as well. So take a look, and yeah, let me know, I guess. I think we've covered everything. I'm just going to end by saying, if there's anything on these little chatty videos, I'm hoping to do one maybe every month or every 6 weeks or something. Is there anything that you think I should be talking about? They want me to cover? Any topics, any thoughts about, well, anything really, anything to do with photography? Hopefully the creative side rather than the gear side, but I've got a love for lenses, for focal lengths, I should say. So I can't help but, getting enthusiastic about different lenses and talking about them. But you certainly won't find me talking about the new modern plastic ones. It's going to be vintage. Vintage. Anyway, I'm rambling now, so I'm done. Let me know in the comments if you would like me to talk about anything. Thank you so much for watching.